Et salut tout le monde, c'est Dax3 et on se retrouve pour le 4e épisode sur What Remains of Edith Finch. Alors, vu la vitesse à laquelle on progresse, ça t'étonnerait pas qu'on soit au dernier épisode parce que on fait environ 3 personnes par épisode. Ah bah non, il nous en resterait 2 je dirais. Mais là, on va voir le frère de notre mère, Grégory.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Wow.
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Ah, je contrôle la grenouille.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
Faut que je récupère des canards.
Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Maintenant, je contrôle plus rien. Ah si.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
Faut fermer l'eau. Sentez venir le coup du bébé noyé. À propos de tout. Comment on nage?
But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Je n'ai rien à dire sur cette histoire. À part surveiller votre enfant. Donc, qui est la mère de Tonicus Gregory, notre arrière-grand-mère? Ok. Je crois que les feuilles, on va pas raconter leur histoire. Genre Sven, Ingeborg ou je sais pas quoi. Kay et Sanjay.
I
Il y avait une
can't
autre histoire,
imagine my
non?
mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Je crois que j'ai fait n'importe quoi. J'ai mangé les mots sans faire exprès. Du coup, j'ai pas pu lire.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Ça, c'est notre chez nous. Essayons de descendre, voir qu'est-ce qui se passe un peu en bas. Ah, le mariage est une mauvaise idée, d'accord, il y a un mariage. On peut pas se cacher de savoir lancer les gens? Ouais, vite fait. Très bien. Sinon, il est où la suite du texte?
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Ouf. Très bien. Alors, je sais pas si c'est un enfant, mais pour un enfant, t'es bien grossier. Très sympa. On vit un très agréable moment.
The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Ah, là, les tables.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
C'est un poème ça. Ça rime pas beaucoup, hein.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Il avait un seul caractère. Hein. Très très mauvais caractère. Alors, quand une porte condamnée. Non, on escalade vraiment.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Ok, donc là, Dawn, Sanjay, notre mère, très bien. Et notre père.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
J'ai pas envie. Je crois que j'ai pas le choix. C'est reparti pour la remontée. Est-ce que j'ai fait n'importe quoi? Pour aller plus vite quand même. Elle est jamais au fit jump ou quoi?
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
On est là.
And to see kids in the house again.
Ça c'est nous. Et ça c'est nos frères. Alors, original. Tout est un peu mort. Et Dawn. Sympa, sympa.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Presque normalement.
But it didn't last.
La méthode scientifique, observation, question, ressenti, hypothèse, expérimentation, conclusion, mais je sais pas qu'est-ce qu'il y a entre les deux. Date. Data, je sais pas, rédaction, conclusion.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Deuxième anniversaire de Milton, quand Eddie. J'ai pas lu la suite. Je suis un peu lent. Je sais.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Je vais pas dire, mais mine de rien, cette extension-là, fallait un bon ascenseur ou de bons escaliers. En tout cas, fallait pas être handicapé. Et pas se casser un truc ou je sais pas quoi. Non, attends. Non, attends. C'est bon. Regarde en cours. J'ai juste le tour pour être sûr que je rate rien. Mais ça va d'être assez narratif, il n'y a pas l'air d'avoir de secondaire ou je sais pas quoi. Impression. Mais voyez, dis ça que je rentre un chemin. Tout à l'heure. Par exemple, tout à l'heure, j'aurais pu louper Barbara. Enfin, tout à l'heure. Pour moi, c'est tout à l'heure, mais pour vous, c'était hier ou avant-hier. Oh, j'aime bien la musique là. Il y a encore une extension en plus.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Je suis nul. Ah, c'est bon. Oh, il Simpson. J'arrive pas à le faire fonctionner. Tant on nous dit pas comment il est mort là.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Il a disparu. Comme ça. Très
Mom
bien.
spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
J'aime trop la musique ici.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Attends, faut qu'on retourne là-bas. Mais comment on accède aux étages supérieurs? Ah, honnêtement, est-ce que vous avez vu qu'il y avait un escalier là? C'est un peu branlant quand même. Hein.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
Edith, mais attendez. On peut pas zoomer sur l'arbre, mais honnêtement, Eddie, qui finalement est la plus âgée de tout le monde là, eh ben c'est celle qui a duré le plus longtemps pour l'instant.
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Dans une conserverie. Oups. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Je comprends pas le sens en fait. C'est bon.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Il était un petit peu de style hippie, non? Regardez-moi ça. Oh, la petite console. Ah bah tiens.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Très bien. Elle est où la télé? Enfin bref. Exit. Non, on veut pas exit, nous. Don Finch.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery.
Oh, le bon geste
But he withdrew
répétitif.
part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
Son esprit commençait à commencer. Ouais.
wander.
Ah d'accord. Joystick gauche il bouge dans le truc. Et là ça me fait penser à Undertale. Et avec le joystick droit je continue ça. Ah ouais c'est galère.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
Je suis bloqué là. Oh un dragon.
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Ah c'est un tapis rouge. Ah on est un roi là, non?
But he found something more. I worried about him then,
On passe en 3D.
daydreaming at the cannery.
Je sais pas où faut que je passe. J'ai très envie de monter l'escalier du destin. J'ai l'impression que par là c'est un cul-de-sac de toute façon.
I spoke with his boss,
Ah je pouvais pas le monter
but
d'accord.
he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
Infatigable, concentré. Ah ah. C'est de là que je viens, c'est ça? Ouais, c'est là. En fait, vu que je regarde en même temps l'écran de droite, enfin à droite de l'écran, eh ben, je peux regarder ce que je faisais dans l'écran de gauche.
Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Oh, un chien.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
Je suis en train de faire une expérience en même temps à droite. Je suis en train de trancher le poisson mais à plus savoir quoi faire.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished.
Il y a beaucoup de poissons quand même dans ses rêves. Hein.
He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Vous voyez là, il a trop joué à Mario.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Ça devient un jeu pour lui.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
Il était un petit peu aussi
He started drifting away from our reality.
narcissique. Hein.
Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
Quoi? Non, j'ai pas lu le truc, alors je suis sûr que... J'ai pas lu.
handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
Non, non, je voulais voir les sinistres serpents.
radiant rainbows.
Oups.
He followed the sound of her electric sitar.
On va faire de la musique. Désolé,
His
ça a
chase
coupé.
led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
Je sais pas pourquoi, mais ça a coupé là, ça me saoule. Vous avez rien raté, hein. Voilà, c'est inquiétant parce que tout l'écran, on voit juste la sardine là.
He knew the world was all in his imagination. he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Ça tombe pas à plat. Là, on est à l'usine de poissons, là, du coup. Ouais.
We began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Attends, mais ça c'est nous? Ouais, en même temps, le geste il est tellement répétitif. Comment tu veux... Comment tu veux faire là? Ah d'accord, je me vois en tant que Lewis ouvrier alors que moi je suis Lewis le roi. Il faut que j'aille où maintenant? Faut que je monte sur l'un de ces tapis. Ah bah ouais.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Oh non. Je sais ce qui va se passer. Oh oui.
And the rest I think you know.
Et...
Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Ah, là pour le coup c'est moche.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
On n'est plus que 3 dans la famille, c'est triste. Il y a nous, notre mère et notre arrière-grand-mère.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
Ah, j'ai cru que
But
ça
I
faisait
understand
des...
why we left.
On est où en fait? En vrai, chacun avait chacun avait
My
ses
mom
affaires,
ended
quoi.
up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
C'est chez nous ici. Ça aurait dû être, je sais pas quoi. J'ai pas lu. Oh, nous on habitait au plus haut,
But it
quoi.
had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Cette dernière soirée. Oh non. Quand on n'est pas mort, on raconte l'histoire.
Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Donc là, c'est nous.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
Attendez, s'il y a eu un tremblement de terre et que la mer s'est retirée, il y a un tsunami qui arrive, on est d'accord.
When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Non, c'est tout droit. Faites pas genre. Pourquoi j'ai bougé moi? Je savais qu'il fallait que j'aille tout droit.
I got turned around.
C'est scripté. Parce que sinon je ne me retrouverai jamais.
Seeing things.
Trois foyers, un cerf.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Genre le portail il est sous l'eau. Il est sous l'eau tout le temps et là tu me dis tu peux l'ouvrir normal. Il doit y avoir rouillé ou
Things
coulé, je sais
I
pas.
can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
Bourlinguer.
We both tried to make the best of it.
Ah c'est moi qui contrôle.
A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive.
Wow.
Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Je crois que notre fille, enfin la fille d'Edith est en train de naître.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Ah, donc on est le garçon d'Edith. Ouah. Dédicace for Shawl à Dallas. Non, c'est drôle. Les développeurs ont montré des photos d'eux, mais enfants. Trophée PS4, la fin de tout. Ok. Bon bah, c'est la fin de cette aventure, hein. Tout le monde est mort jusqu'à notre propre personnage pour se faire marquer dans l'arbre généalogique, mais du coup on est mort en 2017. D'après ce que j'ai sur la pierre tombale. Et c'est dommage parce que je voulais voir la fin d'Eddie, mais Dawn elle a pas laissé faire. Mais on est d'accord que la majorité des membres de cette famille avaient un gros problème psychologique. À part Sam et Dawn, ils étaient tous un peu perchés. Et Gus, juste un peu rebelle, mais voilà quoi. Et Grégory, un bébé noyé dans sa salle de bain. Sinon Barbara, Molly, Calvin, Walter. Ils étaient tous bizarres. Enfin bref. En tout cas, moi j'ai beaucoup aimé cette histoire. Le pire rejouer une histoire est disponible maintenant. Sélectionnez Edith pour jouer dès le début. Ok. Bon, en tout cas, j'espère que cette aventure vous aura plu. Je vous dis à la prochaine et bye bye.